So this is the deck profile for Spot Squad Gaming. Also shout outs to of the Ordeal of a Traveler group, to Jan, who talked to me a lot about this deck, to all the ones from Marburg. I went to YCS Utrecht, especially Pascal and Eric, who tested a lot with me. So I played Nimble Spright, got top 32, lost against Scareclaw tier, sadly, but the player was amazing. I was so impressed about his level of play, even for the tournament at a whole. This deck overall performed really well. I built it to beat winning Sprite, to beat control tier elements, to beat Flounder, to beat, and also it kind of covered some work matchup. It struggled against combo decks, which I knew, but I did not find a good solution. So I only lost against Dive Twins, Sprite, which has so much gas, and lost against Scareclaw, which also has so much gas. But otherwise, I felt really confident with the deck. It plays 3 blue, jet, carrot, red, pixies. Pixies important sometimes to keep your board, and there are so many Evermaxes out there. So if you are a turn player, you can out them with the pixies already. Then 3 Nimble Beaver. They are great normal summon. 2 Anglers and 1 Foolish. You go summon Beaver, get 1 Angler out, and then you have 3 Great Doors in your deck. Also I played 2 Swaps. Swap is required to still be Toad. You can pitch the Angler to proceed your plays to, like, this is how you get the gas into the deck, because I told you the deck struggles with gas, but it produces gas at this point. And what I liked about this particular way of building gas, it's pretty immune to all the types of interruptions unique sprites put on the table or tiers put on the table. And this is or hand traps even do, like, it puts the body on the board despite hand traps, and this is what I liked about the deck. This deck is built to drag my opponent in this kind of situation where you interrupt each other, but it's built to beat your opponent at this point. When you got hand traps to help with the strategy, Ash, Veiler, Imps. Ash performed amazingly. If you're not full combo tier, against full combo tier, it's really, really good. Won me my top 64 match because he played Runic Sprite and goes into battle phase after clearing a little bit my board to play around Veiler, and Imp him is already because I have monsters on the board. He feather dusts me first. So when he goes battle phase and summons Hugin, discards 1, but Ash is already crucial at this point because 2 things. First, he can't get the field space. Secondly, I keep my level 2 monster, and then I can use another level 2 monster to snowball from there. What I really liked about those was that I can hit the Hugin and Warface. Also, they hit Branded and High Spirits against control tier, and they hit Kaleido Hard Resummon, which just won me 1 game when I was able to resolve this. Free Prosp to always have a white card. Those are good cards. 3 enemies. They dodge everything that most of the things Runic Sprite and control tier put for you. Offensively and defensively, if you start and you draw them, you just set it. Your opponent summons a gigantic. You take the gigantic before they can use it, and if they don't draw amazingly, you just win from there. Cosmics to hit back row, but mainly hit Flounder. I was scared of Flounder, to be honest. It takes out one field spell against runics and crucial points, so you can start grinding them. Also, I only played 2 because you don't need them against every matchup every time, and you can grab them with prosp if you really need to. The third spot was for the called by, because called by sometimes wins games you have no business in winning. Just power spell in that sense, and this is also power spell. You just take their elf, even if they have mask under it, they're forced to commit at this moment for the play, and then you can adjust your plays towards those. Really important. Extra deck. Toad, still a really good card. In this build you can grab back your beavers for follow-up if Toad dies. It secures you against evenly match, and evenly matched was a really big thing in this tournament. Then you have 3 elf to resummon your blue and jet, and then you have dark to resummon your opponent's blue or jet. And you have gigantic, which like just Kickstarter. Big IP package, Hyperion Evermax, because tier has to commit so many cards to audit, especially if you're near time. It just almost unbreakable body for them. And big tier package, big mask package, because I also have 2 nightmares in here. The idea for those are with IP against runic sprites, you can Phoenix in their turn away already their field spell. They sometimes don't expect that you do that. Don't know why, but yeah, you can just do it. Also Cerberus, the same, you just kick out their gigantic, and if you in your turn you use them, you can start them off them. They just the first summon you do, and when you pitch Angler, if you just do it. Sometimes I just prosp for Angler to do this play. It just adds so much gas to the deck. A really small Zeus package, no cavalry because I didn't need it. It never came up. Because I played Mannequin Cat and I played Barricade Blocker. Okay, Barricade Blocker, I only did it once. Did it twice, once where it mattered. The idea is that you can, if you start Beaver and swap, you end on 3 bodies on the field, and you need Barricade Blocker for this card. Mannequin Cat is an amazing card because it helps you crack boards. It makes Zeus, because it has 2000 attack and Spright red and carrot only are below, so you can attack them. You can resummon monsters on their field, attack, and then make Zeus. It's only for 3 materials Zeus. This is a little bit iffy, but otherwise, Mannequin Cat also has defensive capabilities if you put it on your board, and your opponent, for example, special summoned, has to think about special summoning blue, because if they do, if they special summon blue, you could summon Rayo from your deck and immediately stop the search, and also have a negate for their summon. But I didn't know about the Rayo thing, but all my opponents did. So they played around it, but I did not have it. I'm happy. It's a little bit tricky, but yeah, that's good. Because the advantage of the Angler engine is that you actually end again on 3 bodies on the field, like you did with Ronin before. So you have endboard is always Elf, Toad, and then you decide between Mannequin Cat and IP, depending on the matchup, depending on your hand situation. Mannequin Cat against tier elements can bring back, as they all aqua, the 3rd Toad or follow-up. I really liked IP to build against runic sprites, because many of them played Lava Golem, even in the main deck. If they tribute 2 of your monsters, for example those 2, someone did it, gives you Lava Golem, you have IP, you can just redo a new elf and get back Toad again. They should not do this, but you at least get 1 Toad to negate if they only have Lava Golem. I beat all runic sprites, to be honest. So I felt like that was my best matchup. this one because starter costs you 1100 and he gives you 1/6, so you don't lose, you win. The barriers for the mirror, for here just something to side in going first, a little bit more protection. Liked it more than Sanctum because Sanctum is a little bit more fragile. It can be ashed, it can be Scythe can be dropleted. If your columns are elf columns are full, you can even be impermed. Barrier is just a card that interrupts your opponent, forces them to play a little bit differently, and this is all this card needs to do. It does not have to win the game right there. Also, I really like it against Runic Spright because you call Fusion there, so they can't access the their field space, they don't hard draw it, or they don't search it with tip. Banquet tops, because it cracks boards. 3 course. I decided against the D-shifter engine, against tier, because D-shift, if I D-shifter my opponent, this deck does not create a good reliable board if I can't kill him. I expected tier control, and tier control has more hand traps, more interruptions even on the shifter, so it's really iffy, it's really risky, so I decided to keep with the main idea of the deck to hit my opponent at the right spots and then drag them there and then win there, and this is why I got the crows in. They performed really good as well. They just stop the tier players before it gets dangerous. You don't need the Nibiru because if they already had 5 summons and you nip them, most players play good and then they still have some follow-up, and this is really what you don't want. Then this is okay, this is a little bit more power and brick, but also it hits Yugen against Runic Sprites in draw phase, which I felt like was really important. If a Yugen discard 1 and you gamma them, they only have, if they start, they only have 3 cards in hand. You should be able to win from there. And then 3 evenly, because this deck can play evenly. This was the idea, what I liked about this more than Runic Spright, that you can play evenly, because evenly just outsports so easily. And actually being in the game changes, for example, also how Gamma works. If you play against a Spy player, you didn't resolve Gamma because you drew it for the 6th card, and they have Elf, you just say battle phase, because they fear this card, they get the Gamma, because they use Elf before, so yeah. I really like this card, and this is the advantage compared to Runic Sprites. You can play this card effectively, you punish your opponent, you are secure against it with the Toad, and last advantage against Runic Sprite, you have a battle phase, so especially if it goes to time, and it tends to go to time because this matchup's really grindy, you always have an inherent advantage, so yeah, I never lost to it. That's the deck, I hope you like it. Have a good day.